AHAVA blessings and welcome to this video. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a beautiful desert rose reading for the new moon in Cancer on the 17th of July. It's also the day of the nodal shifts again. We will go into the north node being Aries and the south node Libra. We have been in Taurus and Scorpio nodes, and it's also the beginning of the month of Av, the month of Leo, which starts on the 18th of July. So there's so much happening. It's so powerful that I really just wanted to dive deep into this reading. We're doing a Dalit spread today, which is a 4-card spread that I'll be talking about. But before I go into all of this, let's just bring everything together, the breath inside the body, and we're just going to chant AHAVA 3 times. And so it is very hot in Spain. Let me know where you live when you're watching this. And I did turn the air condition off so that my sound could be better. And so if you see me sweating a bit, it's because it's starting to get hot, but hopefully I will be fine because I do enjoy the heat. So we are in the solar portal of Cancer, and we have a new moon in Cancer on the 17th. And so it's going to be a very strong new moon, as we know, because when the moon is in Cancer, as the moon governs Cancer, the moon is extremely exalted in Cancer. The moon feels really good in Cancer, either the full moon or the new moon, because Cancer is the moon, right? And so when we have any powerful lunar experiences with the moon in Cancer, it's a really important time to stop and really use these portals, because the moon wants to work with us, right? And so even though in the Aramaic spirituality, the month that we're going into that marks, the month begins with the new moon in Cancer, is the month of Av, which is the month of Leo. I will be talking about that in a minute. But here, what we need to do is merge, right, the teachings of the new moon in Cancer and the new moon in Cancer leading us into the month of Av. So there's a very powerful month of healing within that Leo King energy, okay? So when we have the new moon in Cancer, we know it's all about water. A new moon represents a new beginning. It is a new canvas. And at the same time, new moons are connected to the inner world. Full moons are really connected to the outer world. So it's all about going into the emptiness, going into the void, right? And creating intentions, opening up to plant seeds and to receive seeds as well. And me as a Cancerian, I do love the energy of Cancer, so I'm quite happy. And so let's just, summarize a few things. Main expressions of Cancer. We know that Cancer is the home. It is the physical home, but it also is the body as being the home to the soul, right? So Cancer represents the sacred vessel that feels good to the soul. We always want our soul to be in a palace and not in a jail. And so the physical body is not just, this, it's all of our incarnation. And so when we work with the energy of Cancer, we are asking ourselves, does my soul feel comfortable within how I am expressing my incarnation? not just my physical body, keeping it healthy, of course, but it has to do more, do I feel good? Does my soul expand and feel alive? And is my soul leading me within how I am living my incarnation? And so that is one of the first things we need to ask ourselves. How am I feeling? How does my soul feel like she's expressing herself? Or am I caged in? And so that is the first thing we need to ask ourselves when we work with this energy in Cancer, especially on a new moon where it's all about setting intentions, right? And so Cancer, again, the home, the mother, nurturing, right? Conception, the ability, the energy of water. And as we're celebrating the new moon, we're still in the month of Tammuz. We go into Av on the 18th, and Tammuz is a very powerful month. And so what am I conceiving? What are the energies that I'm holding within my womb space, my womb chakra, my subconscious mind, right? And also the energies that have not been cleared from past lives and this life. What am I creating with, right? And so it is all about conception and the power to conceive, because we're always conceiving, always, which means that we're always creating. And sometimes we're not aware of what we are creating because we're not aware of the seeds that are being used for conception, right? That yod, that letter yod, which is the seed, yod wants to get in there as a divine letter. And sometimes the seeds may be different. And so yod is an Aramaic Hebrew letter. And so these are things that we need to ask ourselves as well. Cancer is all about giving and serving, right? Unconditional love, but not being a floor mat. It's all about being in a space of giving through our own acknowledgement that we are abundant. If we know that we are in abundance and that we are infinite, and that all of our energy and all of the love for ourselves is infinite, then we can give infinitely, right? So there are lots of things that we can really connect with this new moon in Cancer, that we can ask ourselves, right? On a mystical level, Cancer, Tammuz, represents all of the on the earth, all of the wells, right? If we were to close our eyes right now and just call in and activate and awaken all of the wells that have been created on earth, these wells are a symbol of the divine feminine, right? Cancer is the most feminine sign of the zodiac because of it, she is lunar. And so we can think of the prophetess medium, right? Everywhere she went, there was a well next to her, because the well would nourish the people. The well would give life. And so this is another main word, life, right? Are we living our life? Where is there life in my life? And where is there stagnation, right? And so where do we need to call in the water in our life? When there is stagnation in one area of our life, we need to call in the water. That is the element that we work with. And this is a very, very watery new moon. There is a trine with Neptune, right? So it's a very watery and beautiful new moon. And on a mystical level, Gnostic level, Cancer symbolizes the guardian of the mystery teachings, the guardian of the mystery schools and teachings. And so that's why Cancer is so connected with the psychic abilities and intuition. So in this new moon, it is all about our intuition and our psychic abilities, and as well, our healing through the water element, healing through the mother, right? Identifying the motherhood, becoming our own mothers, men and women, knowing how to mother ourselves, which means taking responsibility for our lives. As a mother takes on a responsibility for her child infinitely, right? When we become our own mothers, we learn how to become responsible for our own lives. And this is what self-love is, because that is what Cancer teaches. Cancer teaches self-love, and self-love is to take responsibility for your life. And of course, we can pamper ourselves and give ourselves these beautiful salt baths, right? That's important, but ultimately it is about taking responsibility for our life and the decisions that we make and where we want to go and how we value ourselves. And so this is really, really important in the Cancerian energy. And so some things that we can, we can plant some seeds on if you want a new home, right? If you want to increase the awareness of the power to know what you are conceiving, right? Because Cancer is about fertility, bringing in more fertility into our lives, right? Awakening these waters, cleansing the waters in our womb space so that what is conceived is powerful and is birthed with a lot of strength. So everything that I've just said right now, and probably a lot of things that you're bringing in as well as I'm speaking, these are our intentions. We write the intentions down because we're given an opportunity. And so when we unite the new moon in Cancer, which is initiating the month of Av, in the Aramaic spirituality, the new month begins with the new moon. And so the month of Av begins on the 18th because we work with lunar cycles, even though the solar portal is between the 22nd and 23rd, right? And so the month of Av is another powerful month. There are 3 months that are very powerful in the Aramaic spirituality zodiacal wheel. And first, it's of course Cancer Tammuz, the month of Av, which is Leo, and the month of Capricorn. And so the month of Av, the first 9 days are very powerful. And it is a time to reflect greatly. The first 9 days of Av, starting on the 18th of July in 2023. On the 9th day of Av, many things happened, right? The 2 temples were destroyed, the Hebrew temples, the first one by the Babylonians and the second one by the Romans. On the 9th day of Av, in the 13th century, the Jews were expelled from England. In the 15th century, on the 9th day of Av, the Jews were expelled from Spain, right? The Hebrews. And on the 9th day of Av was the day that the first killings to the Hebrews, the Jews in the concentration camps in Warsaw happened, right? And so all on the 9th day of Av. Because Av teaches us that where there is great power to do great things, there is great power to do horrific things. Because remember, Leo is all about the king codes. It is about the lion. The lion appears in biblical scripture, right? It's about the king code. It's about power. It is the ego. And with the ego, we can do amazing things. With the ego, we can wake up at 4 in the morning and do our prayer practice. Or we can say, oh, I don't want to do the prayer practice anymore, right? With our ego, when we surrender the ego to the soul, we can do great things. We can do our mission. We can be honest and to ourselves and to other people. We can help other people. And we can do simple things like organize our life. But we can do the opposite as well, right? And it's not so much about creating and destroying, because when we look at the water energies and how the serpent energy moves within the water, the Kundalini, this is about power. It's about how we use the power that we know that we have. That is the month of Av. And so the first 9 days of Av are all about reflecting on how we're using our power and acknowledging our power and awakening our power, putting our power to use for something great, right? For something extremely great. And if we look at all of the examples, again, we can do great things or we can do horrific things. And so the first 9 days are all about this. And at the same time, since we're having the nodal shifts, Aries and Libra, on the 17th, which is the new moon in Cancer, there is something about healing leadership. Because Leo is all about leadership. Av is the king codes. And when I say king codes, I'm referring to the queen codes as well. It's all about leadership, right? And as the water energy, the new moon sets the month of Av, and the nodal shifts Aries, again, leadership. The fire signs are leaders, especially Aries and Leo, in different ways. So it's all about healing how we have been leading, and not just the politicians and the governments, but how have we been leading our own life, and how have we been leading others and allowing ourselves to be led, right? So there's a lot of healing water coming in right now, because this nodal shift is about a new way of leadership. A leadership that is about nurturing, about compassion, right? Bringing in the divine feminine energy. We may see in this time between July 2023 until 2025, we may see a lot of female leaders appear more than before, right? Because it is about learning how to lead in a womb-based expression. And a womb-based expression is an expression that is inclusive, that embraces diversity, that respects and accepts all people. And a womb-based expression is an energy of wanting to move forward as a collective and as a family that is humanity, right? And so all of this is happening in 2 days. And so also the healing energy of the new moon in Cancer is going into the month of Av, healing where we have been destroyed by our own power, healing where in the places that we have not been able to use our power. So there's a lot of healing. And so these are the first 9 days of Av, starting on the 18th, that we go into reflection, reflecting about our power, how we use our power, what is power, right? We ask ourselves that question, and then we go until the 15th day of Av. And on the 15th day of Av, there's a celebration, because we have gone within, we have reflected, and now we are kings and queens ready to deliver the true essence of power, which is our innate soul essence and our creativity, right? Our creative power, sharing our mission and sharing our gifts. And so, again, this is a powerful moment, and also in Gnostic biblical astrology, ancient Egyptian astrology, the month of Av, or Leo, is the last month of the zodiac. Very interesting. And so I am taking all of that into account. One thing that is really important, the nodal shift to Aries and Libra activates all of the cardinal signs. Okay, so if you are a cardinal sun sign, or you will be very activated, or it's very important to look where you have cardinal signs, because this activates a cardinal cross, where you have cardinal signs, and which are Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn in your natal chart. Very important. So this spread, we are doing the Dalit spread. This spread is for the new moon in Cancer, and it's also for the nodal shift. What are we here to learn as a collective, right? So this, we can take this reading personally, and we can take it collectively. And so the first card, this is the Dalit spread, okay? Dalit is the 4th letter of the Aramaic Hebrew alphabet, and Dalit means door. And it is all about being humble, which is something that we need to learn in the month of Av, the month of Leo, right? And being emptied. Yet at the same time, it is a door. It is a door that we are opening to something new. And this is why I really wanted to do the Dalit spread, because it is something new. We're going into something powerfully new right now with the nodal shifts. So the first card that we have received is the bridal chamber. Beautiful card. Let me just put it up a little bit. Okay. And so I just want to read to you from the handbook what each card means in the Dalit spread. And so this is the doorway. This is the doorway we're going through right now. And this Card 1 represents our current situation or challenge, the doorway we are standing in front of. It could indicate a choice to be made, a transition to be navigated, or a challenge to be overcome. Well, what I'm receiving within the bridal chamber is that we are in front of a door that we can open right now as a humanity that is all about divine union, unity, oneness, right? Collective awakening into unity, understanding each other, not being so much in polarity, in separation, right? And we can also take this card for us individually as we are in the new moon in Cancer. The doorway I am standing in front of is the ability for me to open the door to divine union. What parts of my inner self are living in separation, right? And so this is a beautiful, beautiful card. I just love the bridal chamber. It is inspired by the Gospel of Philip, where we have what is actually called the mysteries of the bridal chamber. And it's about divine union, inner divine union, union with Allah, and union with the beloved, of course, but with everyone. And so we are standing in front of this door where we have the ability and possibility always to be and connect with our inner union, and how that inner union is reflected externally. So there's a lot of work to be done if we want to pass through this door, if we want to open the door to the bridal chamber. Just imagine what is inside, right? Pure divine union, bliss. That is the door that we're going to open. So this is the first card. And so the second card that we received is Pure Saratamar, which I absolutely love. One of my favorite cards, the Gypsy Rose. Okay, and I just want to thank my camera woman for being so patient with me as I do all of this. And so the Gypsy Rose, the second card, represents the barrier or threshold that's preventing you from walking through the doorway. It could be an internal obstacle like fear or doubt, or an external challenge. Now, the fear that could come up when we receive the Gypsy Rose, because the Gypsy Rose is all about being really grounded in our dragon energy, which is a purification of our sexual energy, and being really grounded with the earth. So what can be happening right now, and which is something that we are called to heal, is how we're using our sexual energy, right? Because that is power, it is creativity. Are we using it to create or destroy? Are we destroying our lives? Are we not even aware of the power we have? Because sovereignty is creativity, and creativity is Allah, because Allah created the world in 7 days, and we are continuing Allah's creation, right? And so we can ask ourselves, okay, why am I not entering into divine union? And why isn't humanity entering into divine union? What is holding us back? Well, what do we contain? What do we hold in our womb space, in our sexual energy? Subconscious patterns, cultural programming, societal programming, programming of separation that we've received from our lineage. All of that, we're holding it, right? If we don't release it. So there is a fear there that we may not be aware of going into divine union. And so this is something that we need to look at, important to look at. I mean, if anything, and we're connecting this with the new moon. So if there's something Cancerian that you feel in the intentions that you make for the new moon that is stuck, go to your water, go to your water, go to your sexual energy, and also go to the earth. What has been manifesting in your life that is repetitive, that you may not like, and what has been manifesting in your life that is repetitive, that you do like? Look at those two, okay? Because it's all about grounding and understanding what is happening and being a realist, right? Not delusional, actually seeing with clarity what is happening in this moment. Ooh, I like this card. We have got Lady Venus. So Lady Venus, oh, beautiful. She is card number 3. And card number 3, this card represents the key to crossing the threshold and walking through the door. It might suggest an action to be taken, a perspective to adopt, or a resource to draw on. It's the key to crossing the threshold. Venus, creativity, abundance, divine union, the light of creation and beauty. Let us pour the light of creation of Venus into our sacred vessel, because the body and our incarnational experience is the home of the soul, and let us be purified. And this is the key. The key is purification, light codes, light creation, right? Either through reflection or through practice or through prayer, bringing in the goodness that we are. Because just like the light of the moon is a reflection of the sun, our light grows and is greater when we reflect the light, when Allah's light is reflected on us, because we are connecting with the light of creation. The Venus card is a wonderful key to cross the threshold into divine union, right? Let's connect more with our creativity, right? Let's understand the beauty of the power of our creativity and everything that we are creating. Let us not just wake up and say, all is good, let me continue. All is good, and what else can I create? How can I make my life more beautiful? How can I make the life of others more beautiful? How can I be in prayer? How can I be a continuation of the light of creation? So this is the key. And the 4th card for this Dada spread is extremely powerful. It's the mantle of the bride. The mantle of the bride. And I'm just going to read what that 4th card represents. This card represents the potential outcome or future that lies beyond the door. It indicates the possibilities and opportunities that can be realized by making the choice to walk through the door. Wow. So the mantle of the bride, if we look at the card, this is the tradition of the mantle of Mary, right? So the mantle of the bride, I always visualize Our Lady of Guadalupe's mantle when Juan Diego took it out to prove that he was receiving her apparitions and roses came out, right? The mantle of the bride is a transmission. The mantle of the bride is when we are held by the Divine Mother. And so crossing, opening up the door, going beyond our fears, pouring the light of creation into our sacred vessel, and what can manifest? The mantle of the bride, which is the restoration of the throne of the Divine Mother here on earth, which brings balance to humanity. This is about the temple of the Divine Mother coming down to us through our vessels. We are the temple. The heart is the temple. Activating the heart, and the temple is here on earth to be with us, and the balance is restored. And when balance is restored, we go into divine union. And so this is a beautiful, beautiful reading. And we're actually going to chant the Aramaic mantra for the bridal chamber, because I just love this mantra. And let me just make sure it's the one I'm thinking, because there's so many. Yes, it's Nafshi. Nafshi. And it can be pronounced Nafsha. Okay? So it's meaning my soul is my beloved. Nafshi. My soul is my beloved. Chanting this mantra will facilitate a profound connection with your own soul. It encourages you to look inward, to recognize and embrace your innermost self. This process can feel like falling in love as you come to accept, appreciate, and cherish your true self. By recognizing your soul as your beloved, you are affirming your inherent connection to the divine and your desire for this union. Nafshi. Let's chant together. And I also have included a beautiful bowing practice, because wonderful for the new moon in Cancer as it is to Mother Mary, and also bowing helps us surrender the ego to the soul as we are going into the month of Av. Nafshi. Let me just get my headscarf on. and exhale. Wow, my soul is my beloved. Powerful. Beginning with the Nun, the mantra, right? The wisdom codes of the divine feminine, and finishing with the Yod, the E, which is the change that we need to evolve and to ascend. I'm very dizzy, I'm still up there. And so I want to thank you for being here and in this community. And just a little note, the readings I will give, they won't be weekly anymore because I rather go deep into the readings. So I won't be doing a weekly card. I will be doing readings on the new moon, and on the full moon I may be doing some desert rose, but also the Sarai infinity codes, the infinity codes of Sarataman. And just to let you know that I really felt like going deeper into the readings, and instead of just doing a weekly card. And there's a lot of information here, so I think we can stick to it. And also, this is all happening during our Magdalene Christ Rosa Mystica Novena. And just in a few days, we celebrate the feast day of our beloved Gala Messiah, Feminine Christ, Mary Magdalene, the embodiment of the Shekhinah, the Queen of Shabbat. And there is a beautiful community gathering, open community gathering for this feast day. Wow, that was a very powerful month. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I don't know if you're feeling it, but I think I'll be chanting this a little bit more, and definitely at night under the darkness of the new moon, of the void. And so I will leave the link. If you're welcome to participate. It's free. On the 22nd of each month, we join in community to pray the Aramaic Magdalene Rosary, and on the 22nd of this month, we celebrate Mary Magdalene. The only exchange that is asked for is respect towards the participants and the teachings. This is a community that we support each other, we respect each other, we are open to all faiths and spiritualities. And so for me, this is very, very important. And also the birth of the Desert Rose Foundation has happened the day of my birthday, the 15th of July. And so I'm really happy about that. And again, I want to thank all of you for being in this community. This is always a co-creation. As we come together, I'm guided by the energy that we all co-create together. So sending so much love. Have a beautiful new moon in Cancer. I will be having a great time as I'm a Cancerian, and I love this energy because it's the energy that I know well, in the light and in the shadow. And so love to all of you. AHAVA.